Rolling. Nothing. Bryce Adams, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Very good, very good. He's VP of Education here at the SST. He's fresh off Mount Kilimanjaro. This past summer, he went there with his friend to Tanzania, and he climbed up the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is 19,500 feet. It's a mountain covered in jungle, rock, tundra, snow, and ice. And he's with us here to tell us about his peak experience. I present you, Bryce Adams. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you. Bryce, you look really good. You look really great. You like you're in the moment.
Thank you. It's really cold in here, so I'm glad I have a coat.
Bryce, please tell us what makes you want to climb in the first place, and in particular, the highest mountain in Africa, the 19,500-foot peak of Mount Kilimanjaro.
It's a great question, and it takes me back. Actually, the reason, the why at the beginning goes back to had a buddy of mine that he and his wife went and climbed in and out of the Grand Canyon, and he came back just hooting and hollering about how much fun that was and how he wanted to go climb a mountain. So I told him, look, you find a cool mountain that we can go climb and not some little piddly thing, then we'll go climb that mountain and I'll go with you. And so he picked Mount Rainier up in Seattle, which is one of the tallest on the continental U.S. And so we went and climbed that one. And standing on the top of that and just looking up at the stars in the middle of the night, it's unbelievable. I was hooked. So at that point I set a goal that I wanted to climb the 7 summits, which are the 7 highest peaks on the 7 continents of the world. And so Kilimanjaro is just the first step.
That's great, Bryce. Well, I climbed it too about 10 years earlier,
Yeah,
and about 2
right.
other peaks of the 7 summits, so maybe we can do Mount Everest together, huh?
There you go.
Put it there, man.
Right,
Maybe we
right.
can. Okay, Bryce, what did you have to do to learn how to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, and who did you do it with?
Well, if you look around, I mean, we're in Houston. It's the flattest city in the nation, I think, and we're almost practically at sea level here. So there's not a lot you can do here in terms of preparing yourself for the hills and for the altitude and all that. So what you basically got to do, you just got to get in the best shape of your life. You got to do a lot of running, a lot of leg lifting and exercises, and you got to load this thing up with about 30 or 50 pounds, and you got to do everything in this. So you got to get used to having a lot of weight on your back. And I went with a buddy of mine that I told James Brandon, the guy that went with his wife, and we've known each other since high school. So we played football together, and he's my climbing buddy. So
Great.
if you want to come climb with us, you can come.
Okay, I'm there. Just describe what you were thinking on your first day when you took that first step on the mountain.
It's a great question because, I mean, it takes, we made the decision 6 or 9 months beforehand. So it takes a lot of training and mental preparedness and getting ready before the trip and everything. And so it's kind of, you're finally there and you're in Africa and you're all ready. You take the rig up to the mountain, you step on the mountain and you've got a big group of you and it's just a lot of adrenaline rush and you're excited about what the next 7 days are going to unfold for you. So it was really kind of exciting, but what you've got to do, we had a great guide with us and he taught us, you can't get overexcited, you've got to focus on your body and you've got to focus on being mentally aware of what's going on. You don't want a blister to start and not to pay attention to it right away. So you've got to be aware of what's going on, you stay hydrated, things like that. So.
Great, Bryce. So what did you do to cure yourself so you could climb higher in the next 4 or 5 days to the top?
Well, it's a great question.
And was that your toughest day, too? Tell us about that.
So the toughest day would, surprisingly, it's not the final day is the longest. I mean, physically, that's the toughest day, but mentally, day number 3 almost got me. I mean, day number 1 was good. Day number 2 was what my legs felt strong. I came into camp feeling awesome. But day number 3, man, I was just pooped. And I'm thinking mentally, like, this is only day 3. We got 7 days to go. What's going on? And am I going to go home and have to tell everybody I didn't make it to the top? But I left camp that day slightly dehydrated. I felt weak. I had a little bit of altitude sickness. And so I learned that. It was a good lesson. So from that day forward, man, I just drank and drank and drank.
Right, so water helped you cure yourself.
No, it was Jim Beam.
Great. That's wonderful. Okay, now this is where you really get to act. What if you were to enact for us what it is like to leave Advanced Base Camp at 16,500 feet at midnight, headed up 3,000 feet to the top with only a headlamp to see by, and arriving at sunrise? Could you do this for us, please?
Well, I don't know how much you want me to do for you. We don't really have mountains around here, but I will reenact the sort of the whole day. It was kind of a, this is the meat of the whole climb. Is you wake up. I mean, for 5 days you've been preparing, you've been climbing, you've been getting ready, you've been anticipating summit day. And so you can wake up at midnight. It's like you said, it's pitch black, it's freezing cold. You bundle up, you crawl out of a nice warm tent. You got to get out in the cold. You have nothing but your headlamp on, but you look up and it's just, you see the Milky Way crystal clear like you've never seen it before. It's unbelievable. So then it's 6 hours up to the crater rim. And those 6 hours are, I mean, you can't see anything except right in front of you and the person in front of you. And so you're taking a break about every hour, but it's just really, I just kind of got into a sort of a trance. It's just 1 foot in front of the other, you know, breathing 1 foot in front of the other for those 6 hours. And they're kind of a blur, to tell you the truth. Because, you know, I'm thinking constantly about the summit, not about those steps. So, but then about 6 a.m. in the morning, you reach the crater rim, and this is about an hour from the actual summit. But it's right where you come up over the top. You can see the crater rim. The sun is starting to rise, and picture this. So you're on this huge mountain. You're at almost the top of Africa. You've got nothing but clouds, a whole bed of clouds that this mountain's coming out from. The sun is starting to come up, and it's peeking right over the clouds. So all the clouds is like a blanket of orange all around you. And you hit the crater rim, so now we're excited. And so we got to actually take our packs off, set them down. We had some crew that were watching the packs, and we got to climb up the rest of the way without our packs. And so now you're walking around, and this is where you start hitting all the glaciers. And you may see these glaciers here, and they look like cruise ships. I mean, they're absolutely huge, and they're popping out on the side of these mountains. And then on this side is a huge volcanic like rim inside there. And we've got our guide running around. He's taking pictures of everybody, you know, and we're just trying to focus on breathing. So I mean, it's so hard to breathe up there. And but we're excited because we're almost there. We're almost there. 30 more minutes. We're almost there. You know, 15 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and then finally we're there. And it's just it's unbelievable. Like for the 6 months that went into training for it, the culmination of the 6 days that went into climbing, and just all the exertion, and you finally get there. And it's, you know, it's kind of busy because there's a picture. We got to get this picture, right? And you got to get the picture on the peak, and they're you know, everybody. Believe it or not, there's a line at the top of this mountain to get a picture. I mean, you would think like, where's the soda machine? You know what I mean? But you got to get the picture, and so we're busy. We're doing that. And there's group pictures, and there's pictures of me and my buddy, and there's pictures of me by myself, and then finally, kind of, I stepped back and just kind of took it all in, and. Kind of heartfelt, man. I mean, it's like unbelievable.
So how did you feel in your heart? I mean,
oh man,
I mean, enacted. I mean, show us.
Literally, I mean, it's just like everything. I don't know if you've ever run a marathon, or you've ever like when you reach the final, when you went all the way across America on your bike, and you finally reach the end. It's just like an exhale. It's like oh, it's like unbelievable. You're standing on the roof of Africa. This amazing accomplishment, and you know, there's really no words for it. You're just up there, and you know, a tear came to my eye. It's just unbelievable. And so, you know, it was kind of cool to step back and watch everybody else doing their stuff around the picture, and then you see the clouds over here and the glaciers over here. It's just, it was really, really amazing.
That's great, Bryce. Tell me one more thing. How did it feel to be up there from 16,000 to 19,500, like in like 5 or 6 hours? And were you breathless? Because when I was up there, I could barely breathe. barely breathe because we went so high so soon.
Yeah.
Were you like that? Were
It
you
was.
just breathless?
It was. I mean, there's a technique called pressure breathing that we use that you're familiar with. That when you're going up there, like every other step that you take, you breathe out really fast and hard, just really out, and then you breathe in deep, and it completely gets rid of all the CO2 out of your lungs, and it refills you with oxygen.
Great. That's great, Bryce.
It really helps.
Now, young man Bryce lives his dreams. He's in front of us, and he has one thing to say. Stand up and say that.
Well, I got to put a plug in for myself, right? So if anybody wants to hear the full story and see more pictures, I got a blog out there. Shoot me an email, and I'll give you the blog site.
Thank you very much.